So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. As usual, we have a phenomenal guest lined up for you tonight. Her name is Dana Magnus, and she is coming on very, very soon. Before we bring this incredible young lady on the Mind, Body, Business Show, what is that all about? It is about what I call the 3 pillars of success. And how that came about is I spent about a decade or so of studying just successful people. I was very curious, like what makes this one individual more successful than, say, me? I mean, what is it? What are the qualities? Are they, do they have an extra arm or an extra leg? Are they able to do more because they have some kind of gift? What is it about another person that it makes them more successful than, say, yourself? And I found after doing these studies over 3 years of working with mentors, studying my own mentors, working with other individuals, working with speakers like those that go on seminars, and working behind the scenes as a crew member, doing all kinds of wonderful things, reading books, authors of books, what made them successful. So some that I studied are no longer with us and weren't with us when I was studying, but I wanted to know what it was. And it was those 3 things. One being mind. You can probably guess it's part of the title of this very show. And that is, to a person, each of these successful people had a very, very powerful, yet more importantly, flexible mindset. And secondly, they also took care of themselves physically, literally, with their body. They worked out or exercised on a regular basis, and they ate and drank healthy foods. And then business is very, very multifaceted. And what they had done to a person was they had mastered the skill sets that are necessary for you to create and grow a thriving business. Skill sets like marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could keep going for quite a while. But the thing is, here's the rub. To master any one thing can take and does take a very long time. I mean, to be an expert at anything, I guess the rough figure is 10,000 hours that you spend doing it. Then you can coin yourself as an expert. The good news is you don't have to do that with every single skill set that is necessary to grow and thrive a successful business. In fact, if you were to concentrate on just one skill set, just one, and actually I mentioned that one skill set in that list that I just rattled off. If you just mastered one, then you are going to be taking care of all the others by virtue of osmosis. And that is the skill set of leadership. Once you have mastered that skill set, now you can delegate those tasks to people who have mastered those skill sets that you bring in on your team. Now you've got the shortcut to success when it comes to that. Otherwise, you'll spend a long, long time if you try to do everything on your own. And look, we all start out on our own. Most of us do anyway, as solopreneurs, and we are learning as we go. And just knowing this and making this a target for you to achieve will get you there faster. That at some point you will start growing your team and bringing in those people that have skill sets that will help you. And that's what the Mind, Body, Business Show is all about. It's about entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs by giving you value that Dana's going to bring you tonight, and things that you can do to model her success. All you have to do is model. All you need to do is copy. That's all there is to it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So just sit tight, get relaxed, get a beverage of your choice, get ready to interact with us, chat back and forth. And another wonderful trait I found of very successful people is that to a person, they were all very voracious readers of books. And with that, I'd like to segue into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
There you see it, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. One quick word of advice, and that is take out a notepad and a pencil or paper or pen and take notes, or bring up a notepad on your computer if you're watching, and hopefully you are watching on a computer so you can interact with us and chat more easily. We love that. And what I wanted to impart upon you is take notes rather than succumbing to that urge to go click off and find, say, reachyourpeaklibrary.com and type it in. Instead of doing that, write it down and visit it after the show's over. Because here's the reason: the magic happens in the room. And I would just hate for you to take your attention away at the very moment Dana drops that golden nugget, that smart bomb, that wisdom bomb, that bomb of knowledge, and you happen to miss it. And it could have changed your life forever because you were off clicking and looking at other things instead of just take the note, look up, and stay with us. All right, enough of my soapbox. Reach Your Peak Library, that is a site I had put together with you in mind. This is for you. This is not for me. And I'm not kidding. It's a collection of books that I personally read and vetted. These are only the books that had a profound impact on me, either through business or my personal life or both. And they're in no particular order. There's book after book in here. And they're just here for you to have a list that you can go to and know that at least one other person found great benefit from reading these books. So it lessens your search for the next great read. And so that's there for you. Just click on it. That just goes to Amazon, goes straight to there. This is not for the purpose of making money. If any of you have ever done an affiliate program with Amazon for books, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is not for making money. This is a gift. This is my gift to you. So I hope you take that seriously and go just grab the first book that jumps off the page and start reading it, and then go to the next one, and then wash, rinse, repeat. That is that. It is time for Brian to stop blabbing so much so we can bring on our special guest expert. She's coming on right now.
It's time for the guest expert spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is the one, the only Dana Magnus. Yes.
What an introduction, Brian. Thank you so much for having me on the show tonight. This is an honor, and I can't wait to dive in with you.
Oh, this is going to be a blast. And you are such a wonderful person. It was great talking to you right before the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat, because this young lady understands the meaning of integrity, of character, of building a business the right way. And I'm just so blessed to have gotten to know you a little bit, Dana, and I can't wait to dive a little deeper and understand what makes you tick at your core and how you've achieved your success. So that not just for me, this is for everyone who's watching and listening, so they can learn the specific traits and skills that are necessary to just model, like I said in the opening. So before we go any farther, though, and I want to introduce you formally because you deserve it, and that is, I need to do a little housekeeping first and talk about some sponsors we have. One of those is over Dana's left shoulder. It's to your right if you're watching this live. If you're listening on podcast, it is thebiginsidersecrets.com. And that is a company by a very dear friend of mine, Jason Nast, and they are sponsoring something that you can win. What is that? You can win. If you stay to the end of the show, we'll show you exactly how to win. And you have to be watching live for this to happen. You can win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, a vacation stay. This is amazing. And this is all compliments of Jason Nast and the Big Insider Secrets. So you definitely want to stick around to the end, because I love giving these away. I love that Jason has enabled me to do this. Every single week we do this. It's phenomenal and it's fun. And then we have a couple more, and I promise it's going to be the Dana show real soon. Here we go. So if you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and to connect with great people like Dana Magnus and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. And then one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing system is one that you'll learn how to absolutely master. It's the very service we're using to stream our live shows right here, right now on the Mind Body Business Show. And over the course of, over 10 years now, we've tried many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And I have to tell you, StreamYard is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use, and it also has unmatched functionality. So you can start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows for free with StreamYard now. Write this down. Don't go clicking away, but visit the website ryp.im/streamlive. ryp.im/streamlive. Whew, now, finally, at last, back to the woman of the hour, I hope. There we go. Now we're doing it. And so an introduction is in order. Dana Magnus is the CEO and creative branding and marketing strategist of the marketing brand and speaker, retreat host, and movement leader. Whew. She leads her tribe with mission-driven marketing while changing the world, aligning with ethical business leaders and the B Corporation movements. I love that about her, the ethical business leaders. Efficiency and planning are her jam. She loves asking challenging questions in order to create a marketing plan that empowers you to sell the human way, and believes that all businesses can be used as a force for good. Whew, I love it already. Now, formally and officially, welcome to the show, Dana Magnus. Yes, yes, yes. How are you doing tonight, Dana?
Oh, it's fantastic. What a great way to end the week and kick off a vacation coming up next week. So very excited to just be with you all tonight. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. You know, and I love reading guests' bios and learning more about them. I get to learn a lot by just a well-written bio by itself. And with you, it was very obvious when you have words like ethical and things like that sprinkled throughout. That really resonated with me, because it's just very few seem to have that target and that focus and that drive and mission to be going after and promoting ethical business. That's what I love about it, because it does all that inherently when that's what you're looking for. But what I like to do is actually take a step back, and you know, your accolades, your experience, and what you do are phenomenal. They're fantastic. What I like to do though is now let's go back and find out, well, how did you get there? How did you get to this level of success? What was going on in that beautiful brain of yours? It's all about mindset.
Sure.
What is going on in your brain? Like when you get up and you know there's arduous tasks ahead, you know, we all have them. We're entrepreneurs that we're faced with. That's what we do. We solve problems, right?
We solve problems for sure. Yeah,
So,
and I can kind of take that a little to take it a little deeper back in the core beginning, right? So a little bit about kind of the beginning stages was I actually started off as a photographer. Back in the day, I was a freelance photographer. I followed my passion after being told, you can't do that. You know, photography's not a real job. You know, do it on the side. You know, just kind of help out some friends and family and see where that goes. And I became obsessed with being able to learn how to create the success that was always doubted of me. And I think that it was just kind of one of those things that you take these personal assessments now and you say, like, who am I? The Enneagram was a personal assessment test that I've taken recently and found out, you say no, I can't do something. I'm the challenger. I want to just show that I can. And you know, I started off as a photographer, and then, you know, just kind of took my passion since I was 10 years old and began to learn what it takes to get my first job, that first freelance gig. And then at the time, social media was just actually coming about to, you know, be able to put a business page together. This was back in 2010. And being able to then just start to share my story and post some photos and share with the world, like, hey, world, this is what I love. This is what I'm good at. I want to learn and grow with you. I really told stories instead of just, you know, gave an update. And it became my firsthand experience that allowed me to then in college decide that I wanted to really change the world with the way that I was building a business and marketing it. And the whole ethical leader side came about because, you know, when you're in advertising school and you're looking for just kind of like what makes a great advertiser, seemed like it was all about manipulation.
Mhm.
And that actually, again, years later, studying my Enneagram, the one thing that I hate the most is being manipulated. So I took that and I just drove it home, and I was like, I am not going to be the manipulator because I hate being manipulated. I want things to feel good. I want marketing to be about connection and people and sharing story and showing up. And lo and behold, here I am today running a marketing agency and a brand strategy service, while also incorporating photography and helping people share who they are with the rest of the world using their face and their vision and their dreams to lead them into creating movements that really are shifting the way that people are, changing the world.
That's fantastic. And so much in there is phenomenal. And yeah, it is interesting how the advertising and marketing world does seem to be all about manipulation at times, doesn't it? It's like
Hmm.
enough.
Yeah.
Stop trying to manipulate and do something that's coherent. That's where values are in alignment. And just that there's a win-win every time instead of just trying to sell your stuff.
Yep.
Um, if people don't want it, then you shouldn't have to force it on them. There are times, though, wouldn't you say, Dana, it's true that the opposite time is true where they know they want it, they know it's good for them, but something is holding them up resistance-wise. And at that
Yeah.
point, it is our job and our responsibility to then not manipulate them, but to convince them that this is the next step they need to make. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And that, I think, is what creating relationships is all about, is establishing a level of trust and also incorporating smart marketing with content marketing. And that's again what my agency and my marketing strategy really helps to guide my clients with, is being able to create content that's really going to help to educate and inspire people, inform them, and just get them to feel like they're equipped with a conscious decision that they get to make for themselves, that they want to move forward with you, instead of it feeling like, wow, I can't believe that just happened and I was sold, a $200 solar charger at a trade show. That happened to me. Total transparency. I'm like somebody who totally is a sucker for, like, I need it now. My phone's dead. What do I do? Who buys a solar charger in a convention center? There's no sun, people. But you have those moments that you're just like, holy cow, how does this happen? And it's slimy, it's gross. It makes you feel just bad about yourself. And I just know that at anything that I do with the clients that I work with, I just want people to feel esteemed and feel like they're making a conscious decision about where they're investing and spending their money and who they're spending their money with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can count many times where I was in that position as a client, a prospective client, and thinking, oh, I want this so bad, but, and all the reasons. And then thankfully, one person who ended up becoming my mentor was masterful in helping me to understand that it's just important just to take that next step, even though
Yeah.
there might be some pain inflicted, and that pain would be financial in my particular case at that time. I didn't have the amount of money that was necessary to do it. And I learned from that, that all you need to do is say that one word. It's 3 letters. It's real simple. You just say yes, and then see if there's something you can work out to make it happen. And that's what
Yeah.
happened. We worked out
Yeah.
something that changed my life forever for better. And I
Yeah.
love him for having the skills to convince me that this was the right move for what I wanted in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Having a mentor is key. I remember when we had moved back from San Diego to Chicago, I was struggling so much to try to keep the wheels on with my business, because I was going from building an entire, I had a whole network in San Diego, came back to Chicago, and in a whole new business from photography to marketing. I felt like I
Mhm.
was starting over and starting from scratch. And it was at the time where I was starting to get in debt in my business, and the first thing I did was sign on to a program that was $2,000 a month. And my husband just about, like, he couldn't understand, and I'm like, "The thing that you do when you're down is you invest in your growth, you gotta believe it." And that was within 6 months, my revenue just, I made the biggest months in my life just by getting that guidance when you know you need it. So I would totally believe in what you are saying, is like getting convinced that you need the help is, you're in your own way sometimes, and the help is
Yeah.
there if you can.
And they're often thinking, this costs too much money. It's costing me too much money to go forward with this. But then the real question should be, is how much money is it going to cost you not to go forward with it?
Yep.
So if you want to just keep trying to do it, whatever you've been trying to do up to this point apparently isn't working if you're at that point where you don't have enough money to go forward, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of people don't want to go to that truth part of it. Like, it makes you feel kind of bad, like I'm a failure. It's okay. That's the entrepreneur life. In fact, how many people do we know that have been exorbitantly successful and wealthy to tank and hit rock bottom and then to rebuild over and over and over again? It's just a part of life. So it's okay. There's no one going to judge you. In fact, they're going to applaud you for dusting yourself off and getting back into the race.
Absolutely. I like to say I have a weekly email that goes out on Sunday called Sunday's Intentions. And about a month ago or so, I talked about the that Coca-Cola keynote, Coca-Cola CEO keynote, where it was about, we have 5 balls that we juggle, right? A few of them are glass, a few of them are rubber, and things like money and career sometimes bounce back. But like what relationships and your soul and your purpose and your health and your mind and all these things are glass. So when you let them go, and I knew that, hey, I deposited so much into this business, it'll bounce back, right? But I can't be down on myself too much. That will break. So I agree. I think that's awesome. It's a good lesson there.
Yeah, and you definitely cannot be down on yourself too long. Perseverance. You gotta. It can be tough. I mean, look, everyone goes through these things at some point where money's tight, or you don't have any money, and you're going, "How am I going to get it?" So then you go into scarcity mindset, and you start developing bad habits around that, and you have to really have a solid foundation. And what you've done, Dana, by going out and investing in yourself, helps you to avoid those situations. Doesn't mean you're not going to go through them, but you can at least come out on top of them, rather than just say, that's it, I can't do this, I'm going to give up. It's about the fortitude and discipline, perseverance, all of it rolled into one. It's not easy, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put it that way. But the cool thing is, we have people like Dana coming on shows like this, where she's imparting the wisdom you need to possibly get you to that next level. Isn't it wonderful to know, Dana, that other people struggle just like us?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many times it was just like hearing somebody else had a challenge, or, I'm in a mastermind that I feel like sometimes I come to the mastermind with the same issues over and over and over. I'm like, I still can't get over this, or I still can't work this out. And it's okay, because, the learning, it's like, I like to tell, especially my clients too, it's like in school, like when you cover a new lesson, you cover a new type of thing, that you're a chapter, you read the chapter, you study the chapter, you go through all the things to do, take the quiz, you do the projects, you do the group collaboration, you go through all these steps to master it. But somehow when we become adults and we're entrepreneurs and we're out there learning something new, we think, oh yeah, like StreamYard, for instance, or like Facebook ads or whatever. It's like, man, I didn't get it the first time. What's wrong with me? I quit. I'm like, but we never learned that way. We learn, there's so many other elements of the learning process that it takes time, it takes failures, it takes the quizzes and the collaboration. So it's all part of the CEO journey, I believe.
It takes time. It takes failure. You know what that is. That is a bomb dropping moment right there. Bombs of wisdom, knowledge bombs, smart bombs. That is Dana Magnus. That is what that is. Yeah, failure. Be okay with failing. Do it often. Do it many times and learn from it, so you don't ever have to worry about it happening on a large scale. Just keep going and grow that thick skin. Don't let it knock you down. Keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up, please. And just know it, like Dana just said it, it's going to take time. You need to learn things. It's not, you know what? I think part of it is we have become ingrained in what I call an instant gratification society. Everything we do is instant now. I mean,
Yeah.
my gosh, we have phones. I can order food and it's nearly instantly delivered to my front door. And
Yeah.
it's gotten so easy to get things quick. So then we start expecting that of everything, including our success in our business. And that's
Yeah.
where the great mediator is saying, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. And there's reasons, and good reasons, why we're going through these stages. We're learning what's going to help us to get to the next stage. And then not only get to the next stage, but then grow beyond it and take our business to another level. And it's just a fun ride, in my opinion. I love every minute of it. It's a challenge nonstop, but there are victories. That's the beautiful part. So we've only talked about the negative side so far, but there are victories. What kind of victories can you think of, Dana, that really lifted you after you were trudging? It felt like you were just treading water. You couldn't get out. You couldn't get moving. And then it happened. What was that for you, if you can recall one of those moments?
So after months of just showing up and coming up with this idea, mission-driven marketing, right? And saying, well, if I'm going to go and do it, reinvent the wheel here with starting over and coming out fresh, I want to do it with what the initial feeling I had sitting in that chair in college when I first learned about corporate social responsibility is I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to skip over all the things that I was hoping to build up or one day work for that company that was a B corporation or, the big company that made it. And I was going to start to teach and guide and lead people with my approach of saying, if they can do it up there as a Fortune 500 company, we can do it too as small independent businesses. And I got my first referral for a client that was an actual do good for the society. They had a mission to change the world, and this client was really in alignment with my truest values, my highest core values, and it just felt like it all was worth it to start over. And I was really excited to meet with this owner, the CEO, hear their story, and I just had goosebumps all the way up from my wrist to my shoulders. It was that moment that I was super excited that the way that I was showing up, the way that I was marketing myself, the way that I was just continued to be committed to that type of audience that I really wanted to reach, it happened. And it took months. It took about 4 months, 5 months of just really strategically feeling like I was a broken record, right? Saying the same things, going to networking event after networking event after networking event to try to, ask for what I wanted. And it came my way. So that was a really big turning point for me that I was like, wow, I can do this. It is possible. And it is all about, not settling to just take any client or just see where the money is and just say, well, I'm just going to throw my values out the window today because I need to get that paycheck. It actually just unfolded and paved a way for me to then create systems and smarter just a team around it too, to really serve that client in the way that now I know the rest of clients that I have are all in alignment with my highest values. And that to me is all I can ask for. So I don't emulate working for another job or something I don't want to do. It's exactly the type of work that I really want to be doing on a day-to-day basis.
Oh my gosh, lots of nuggets there. And by the way, I hope people are doing the same thing. I implore them to take notes. I'm doing the same thing, taking notes, running the show. The director, the producer, I wouldn't say the star, that's Dana, but part of the talent that's on here. And systems and team. I mean, okay, that's just, I'm sorry, but that is another bomb dropping moment right there. Because, I love how you're talking about, it's like your journey. You finally broke through. You got that yes, after all this time and suffering. There's pain and suffering where you're constantly wondering, good, am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing this? There's so much.
And I did it 20 times today on top of it. So it doesn't go away overnight either.
Yeah. And a lot of doubt creeps in your mind. So there's great things. You need to have a very powerful why, what keeps you going. For me, it's my wife. I would crawl over broken glass for however long they say you would do that for her. And so I just never will quit. It doesn't matter. I just won't quit. And it's not Not going to happen. I'll feel like it. Don't get me wrong. We feel like
Right.
quitting all the time, but I
Right.
won't. I'll never succumb to it. But you said systems and team. So that's I'd call it step number 2. Everyone, if you're just starting a business, you're a solopreneur, but start the business with the knowledge and intent that you will be bringing on a team. When you do that, you must develop systems, because it's going to be difficult. If you have to tell your team how to do something over and over and over, the same thing more than once, and other things, have policies, procedures, and good, all that icky documentation stuff, but stuff that is necessary to run a. And then you said alignment, bringing people that are in alignment with your values. So important.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, so important.
It's a make or break. That is the make or break, is when you start stepping outside of the alignment, it can feel like the world just nothing makes sense in that position. And you just go internally, right? You go right into, oh, like I messed up, I'm a failure. And it's not, it's about the community around you. And if the community's out of alignment, I mean, everything falls apart.
Yeah, and those are very important. And a lot of these are the intangibles that many people don't address when they put together a coaching program about business, about how to really succeed and propel yourself forward in business, and how some speak from stage and they don't talk about these elements very often. And that's what I love about what I get to do with the show. These details always bubble up and bubble out, and we get to reveal them to everybody to let them know what really goes on and what really needs to go on to be successful. So I opened the show by talking about a bunch of skill sets that successful people mastered, right? And there are many, and they vary. I mean, I barely scratch the surface of all of them. And when you're going through, Dana, now look, where you are today, the skill sets that are required for where you are today may differ than what they were, say, a year or two ago, and they will differ in the future when you grow even farther and you step back more from the company and be the orchestrator. So, but right now, if you were to pinpoint, say, three of the top skills that are the best or most necessary to get you to where you are and your level of success, what would those 3 be?
Oh man. So I think the biggest, number one, the biggest skill set that you need to have is communication. It is one thing to, have the most incredible, brilliant, and like just fascinating mind. But if there is no way that you can work on that skill of communicating what's in here and get it out there, you can't have anything come to fruition with the way that the world works right now. So communicating, just sharing your brilliance and sharing your skill set and sharing everything that you can think and dream of. It's as good as nothing if you keep all of that inside and you deprive the world of the skills and the talents and the abilities and just the great ideas that you have. And that to me is really what the world needs right now. Is we need more, people to share their heart and to share their vision and to be on their mission and help have people around them to rally their mission for them. And so if you can't communicate, can't make that impact.
All right, there's one. Got 2 more to go.
All right, number 2. Oh man, I really think to get to anywhere that you need to be is you need to have a leadership component to just guide yourself. I mean, even if you're a leader of one, and that's just to lead yourself through. We talked about the ability to just overcome obstacles and be resilient and adaptive, and trying to get yourself to, you know, I wouldn't say power through, but gently guide yourself through really difficult times, which will come up both internally, externally, all over the place, with clients dropping off. You can't figure something out. You got to lead your way through. And if you can work on your leadership, I think that is one of the most invaluable things you can give to yourself, and skills that you can really hone in on. And I think the third skill set that I believe it takes is really just the skill to, to stay. To stay connected, if that's a skill, like relationship building skills. And
Hmm.
so being able to be vulnerable to ask for help when you need it. I mean, there are so many times that I just had to create within my own household, or just, like I needed to create some sort of structure to feel like, wow, who can I go to really vent about my business. And sometimes it wasn't my husband, and sometimes it wasn't my bridesmaids and my best friends, because they had no idea what I was talking about, or where I was coming from, or what I was going through. And they're like, just quit and get a job. I mean, in a most loving way. They didn't want to see me in pain. They didn't want to see me crying for the 17th time that I couldn't figure something out. So having other business buddies or people who are entrepreneurs that you can reach out to, I think it's a skill in itself to build those relationships and to be able to fall back on people who truly can understand and speak your language when you feel like you're completely on isolation island of just like, like, how do I get through this?
So on point. You're helping me to remember. He's sponsoring this show. That's my business buddy. It's Jason Nast. He's also my buddy, my friend, aside from just business. But I mean, this guy will do. He's got my back no matter what. I mean, no matter what. This guy is amazing. He'll help me with things. He'll help me test technology. He'll put the word out. He'll let me share his LinkedIn profile to get more invitations. I mean, the guy just does anything and everything, and he's a godsend. And that, I wish everyone has a Jason in their life, or more than one Jason. But for me, that's pretty much all I need. He's pretty much fulfilling a lot, and I get to bounce all the things off of him. He's a serial entrepreneur, a heart of gold, and I know that I can get his real opinion. He doesn't just sugarcoat things, because we're friends, and he knows that I won't take it bad. I'll say thank you. Thank you for being honest with me. So yeah, that's a huge one. Very thank you for bringing that up, because I don't often think about that how important that is. In other words, I
Yeah.
think about Jason all the time, but I don't think about how the importance of that relationship and how it relates to what you just said, as far as helping you to get through. You're right, family, that can be the worst one. I mean, oh
I
my
love
goodness.
them, but they don't get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and they don't get you, and they're going, why the heck are you putting yourself through all this? And you're like, oh, I just don't need to hear this right now. I need
I
the
know.
opposite. Yeah, and they have their best intentions. We all know that. It's just, isn't it ironic that those closest to you could be the hardest on you?
Yes. Yes,
It's
absolutely.
almost vicious. It's like, my gosh. So I'm a firm believer that there are patterns to success that you could emulate. Like, let's say, I use this often. Let's say I've never baked a cake in my life. I'm here to say, I'll swear, I've never done it. But I think if I had a recipe book in front of me, a proven recipe book by a proven chef that has proven to bake a lot of really great tasting cakes, even though I wouldn't eat them. But if I had a recipe book that had all the ingredients on it, the step-by-step instructions, and if I just followed that recipe,
Yeah.
ingredient by ingredient, step by step, I feel pretty confident I could cook the very first time out a phenomenal cake. I think the same is true with success in business. What do you think, Dana? Do you agree with that?
I will say that I'm at the school of thought of, the experiences that we go through, like if there was a playbook for this, just knowing myself, I would probably not read it and want to defy all the rules, challenge them and saying I could do it better a different way.
Yes.
So a little bit about just the way that I approach things is I may seem a little disjointed sometimes, but in terms of like my approach to starting things new, but it always comes back to like once I have that experience, no one could do it the way I can. And that's like I think in contrast around, and not to say it in a pompous way or bragging way, it's just the way my brain thinks and the way that I do things is that I'd rather do what, like I said, is the go the path least walked and try to carve a different path and do things differently. But I think with success, it is also very individualized, right? So my success is not your success. We have a different view of success, And I've been recently, you talked about your Reach Your Peak library, and I love that. I love some of the books on there. I'm like, yes, I love some of those reads. And currently, I'm reading this book called The Company of One by Paul Jarvis, and it almost challenges everything we feel like. I know I mentioned team, and I love my team. They're incredible. Shout out to each and every one of them. But it also kind of makes you think like, what could life be with just like maybe one or two of them, or even smaller? Like what would life be like if just myself, and would that make me feel successful? And the answer is no, because I love being able to uplift people around me and support other businesses while we're growing mine, and just kind of supporting that. But I think like some people just want, not say just, but some people's vision of success just has a different recipe, and they also have a different flavor of what it is. So, I think those things are really interesting to toy around with. But yeah, for me, I guess I'm still exploring what that is, because I just feel like every day I'm kind of looking at what can I celebrate today. I know we talked about that, like so many gifts and things. And in 2 years, I mean, who knows? I might be doing something completely different in a different way, that feels successful. And I just feel like it all comes down to just having a blast on the journey of figuring it out, you know?
So when you started that transition from being a solopreneur to bringing team members on,
Yeah.
did did you find it a little bit resistant to start handing off tasks that you thought that only you could do?
And I mean, my team will be there rolling their eyes right now to be like, "Oh my gosh, Dana, stop. You can't do this all on your own, even though you have." But it is difficult, because only because like you, again, working on that communication, right? I may think it's done a certain way, and I studied communication, and that was my major in college, and yet here we are still dealing with like perfecting that, and always being on the journey to improve that. But sometimes it's just like, yes, by the time we go through it and make the 17,000 Vimeo or Loom video, and you have the process written down a million times, it's like I could have just done that myself in 2 seconds. But the importance of a team is to watch other people take your vision and bring it to life without you having to be there. I was a mom recently. I became a mom this year, and I was, a new mom, and that was like, holy cow! I'm not just the mother of my business anymore. I'm a mother of an actual human being who needs me to not work until 2 in the morning and actually go to sleep. I mean, my dog already, he's always next to me. He can teach marketing to anyone now because of how much, you know, he hears me and hears me speak, consult with my clients. But like, that was really hard for me to be able to be like, I physically can't do this. I need this to work with a team, and I need my team to step in to support my clients. And man, that was a humbling moment for me to just have to just let go and trust. And the outcome of that was absolutely mind blowing. People were listening when you thought they weren't listening. And if you don't micromanage, and you trust them, and you let them be all they can be, the results are absolutely incredible. So now I feel like I can't go back. I can never go back. Just knowing that they're too incredible, and they know too much now, that like this is just such a blessing to be able to witness firsthand.
You know it's coming. And the reason that's a bomb dropping moment, there were many, but you hit it kind of on the head as far as a leadership approach. And that was, you said, if you don't micromanage, that one screamed volumes. I've been down a similar path. So you sound like, I told you, it's like, I know I'm a lot older than you, but I think we were separated at birth somehow, as twins, because it's almost parallel lives here. And that
Yeah.
had the same experience, that when, I'm very, or used to be, I'm not as much as I am now, or as I used to be. I'm very analytical. I used to be very analytical, and it had to be just precise. And again, only I could do it, right? Just like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
And when I learned is like, especially like, let's say graphics, I wanted something done. I finally just just learn to just let go. It's like, you know what? They can do better than me, probably. They have a different mindset. They have a different eye. They have a different palette for colors and all the things that go with it. And I found that time and time and time again, they would just knock it out of the park. It would be gorgeous. It'd be beautiful. It wouldn't have been the way I did it. And that's what made me happy, is that it wasn't the way I would do it. Because when you sprinkle variety, you know, there are different, your clients, your prospective clients, they have different viewpoints as well. So you're, you know, if it's not working and you're the only one doing it, then that's the problem. You need to get someone else to bring in the creative juices, not just for graphics and art, but for everything, for writing, for dealing and talking to clients, for support and everything that goes with it. It is freeing, isn't it? It's quite liberating when you finally have, oh my gosh, that worked, and I don't have to worry about doing that task ever again.
Yep. I hear you. And what you're doing is you're actually uplifting people to become their own expert, you know, and like I can become more of my expert of who I am supposed to be when I get out of their way and I let them become the expert, right?
So you, I would say, already have mastered that skill set of leadership, because that is not an easy thing to do that Dana is describing for you guys out there. It's not in the beginning. For some, it might be easier, but for people that are analytical and like to have control, and I think Dana is a similar, you know, we're twins, so she has to be similar mindset that I hadn't started from the same area. It's very important to be able to let go, step back, and just let them. It's like you're giving them kind of ownership, not of your company, but of the tasks at hand, and give them the creative freedom to do what they think is best. And of course, you're the quality control in case you need to be, right? You always review it if it's something that's that important, and then learn the right ways to discuss making tweaks. You know, we have a feedback sandwich where you say, hey, really good, I love this. A couple feedback moments here, and stretches, we'd call them. You'd tell them what needs to be corrected and then finish it up with, but overall, that was a fantastic job. Just, you know, tidy up those few areas, but way to go. You're on the right track. And they don't feel like they were scorned. They don't feel like they screwed up. They feel good. They feel empowered, and they feel loved, that, hey, they care. There's so many great things. Oh my goodness, Dana, where did the hour? It's almost an hour already.
That's crazy.
So we got some time. We got some time. I'm having fun. This is a joy talking to you, and congratulations on motherhood. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Can I ask, is a boy or girl?
Little girl Danielle.
Right on. Our first one was a girl too, Megan. And you know, I grew up playing sports, and I had these visions of, you know, doing that with a boy and all that stuff. And I'll never forget, because I didn't know how to react. We didn't find out ahead of time. When she came out, she was born, I was right there standing over, and they said, oh, it's a girl. I had not one shred of, oh, bummer. I was in just heaven. I was like, yes, it didn't matter. I was just like, this is my little one. And oh gosh. And
I'm
she's
obsessed with her. Like, oh my gosh. She's just like my everything.
Yeah. And they will keep reminding you of that. Whether you want to be reminded or not. And it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
You know, waking you up at 2 and 3 in the morning for the early years, and they get into elementary, and you know, they're adults now. Mine are, and they're pretty self-sufficient now, and it's wonderful. And I love being there for them when they need me, and my wife also. So yeah, congrats. You're going to have the greatest journey. I can tell you're going to be a phenomenal mother. So
thank you.
You got the leadership skills, so you're going to be nurturing you know, the next big wig in business, I'm sure, when she gets to that age, if that's what she likes doing.
That's what she wants. Yep.
Well, my goodness. Okay, I got to ask you this. Your forte is marketing. So this is my favorite, aside from the last one I'm about to ask you of the show. But this is one of my favorite questions to ever ask, because I love marketing. I love everything there is about it. Part of it is because there are so many ways to do it. It's such a variety. And because of the challenge of finding out what the heck approach really works. That's the other part. And so here's the thing. What worked 10 years ago doesn't necessarily work today. What works today won't necessarily work 10 years from now. But right now, for you, Dana, in your business today, what has been the number one most powerful form of marketing that you have utilized either for yourself or for your clients or for both?
I love this question because it is the most simple yet clever thing you can ever do, and it's the one that'll make people the most upset. So, I learned in advertising school that, or when I was studying advertising, that you had to have the most clever, like, oh man, why couldn't I think of that kind of slogan or thought or idea? I was taught by, adjunct professors of Leo Burnett, and it just made you angry to be like, "Oh, if it was that simple." And to be honest, this is how simple it is. Show up, people, show up. And I know that this is what's gonna be sustainable for you, is that if you find the way that you like to show up, all you have to do is show up. Now, the hard part is show up how? Show up at what level? Show up with what bells and whistles? Show up in where what rooms, right? Is knowing what room to show up in. And the last most challenging thing for people to do is show up consistently. Okay.
Mm.
So, but the biggest secret with marketing is just show up, just do the things, just try it, and just have fun showing up as 100% truly you. And if you show up in alignment with all those things I talk about, right? Consistency, in the right room, as yourself, with the right message, you're going to nail it, but it's going to take time.
I'm wearing this button out, but I'm going to do it again. I'm telling you. Oh. Ooh, I'm glad I got that recording. I might use your soundbite for the bombs next time. That was even better. That was
Here we
phenomenal.
go. Here we go.
The Dana Magnus bomb drop sound.
Got a
That
trademark
is
that.
beautiful, and I want to actually touch on exactly how you're doing that as well, because you have a gift to give everyone, which I appreciate that very much, and we will get to that in a moment. But also, I wanted to showcase you for a moment, if you're okay with that, Dana. I know it's a tough thing, but nobody wants to get exposure for their business, do they? So what I wanted to do is I've got your website up, and I wanted you to, if you're okay, is I would like to learn about who is your target market. Who are the clients you're helping? Where are they in their business? Are they? It doesn't matter. Are they a startup? Are they 6-figure? Are they 7-figure? Corporation, individual, all that good stuff. And then what exactly is it that you do for your clients? If you wouldn't mind expanding on that so everyone could understand and get a little more depth and breadth of your experience base.
Okay, great. So, what I do is I serve businesses on a way of just really exploring how they want to show up, right? And we do that through what we call a branding photography session and a marketing strategy. So, as a photographer, like I shared in my journey, is that there is a lot of you for these solopreneurs or thought leaders, or I would call them their mission and movement leaders. Really being able to step in front of the camera or step in front of their audience, whether that's video or through storytelling or through just being able to put their face and their mission out there. It's really about sharing who you are and your big mission and your dreams. And my whole goal for each and every business owner is to create a community around them that are going to rally their mission. Okay. And so the biggest thing that we do is we help you create a content strategy that lays out all of your marketing, well, whether it's for social media, emails, what's on your website, what you're putting into your networking event, any print or marketing pieces that you have tangibly holding in front of you. And so I love to be able to help provide you with a marketing plan that serves as basically the blueprint of what the next 6 months is going to look like. So you're able to just get out of your own way and saying, oh, I don't know if people want to see me. I don't know how I'm going to look or what I'm going to say or what I have all these great ideas swirling around my head at 2 and 3 in the morning. We build the framework, and it is a beautiful experience for people to have everything kind of working alongside them to guide them into saying, you don't no longer have to think on the spot of what to say or how to say it or what to paste or where your photos are going to come from or what videos you're going to pull from or how many emails you're going to have to schedule, what your welcome sequence is. We do that in a VIP day as well, to just map it all out and be done with it. And then you can just relax and go ahead and engage. So you're able to really connect with your community, which is the most important thing.
I like the relax part.
Relax. Relax and just enjoy.
Oh, look at this. Don't market to sell stuff, market to cultivate community. That's a great quote as we're scrolling down one page of her website. So yeah, danamagnus.com. So for you, those of you listening on podcasts, is DANAMAGNUS.com. danamagnus.com. So be sure to visit there. It looks like there's a way to connect with you. Let me double check on the website. If not,
You can join the community. Yep.
So you want to click on join the community right there. There you go. There it is. Contact. You are good. And she's kind of finding out a little bit about you. Says, oh yes, I love this. This is a great onboarding form. I would implore everyone to go here, if nothing else, than to see what she's done with her form. She's actually finding out something about you before you come in or as you're coming into her community. And she's asking a great question. Something it says, I love asking people, and you fill in the blank. I love that. I love that. That is phenomenal. So she's getting to know you as a core, as a person, not of what do you do.
Yep.
Necessarily. Necessarily. So I'll bet you get a lot of those that they say, oh, this is what I do. I love asking people how to become my client. And
yeah. It's more about what you're leading is more of what I'm excited to hear, than what you do is what are you leading?
There you go. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. And then we will get into your gift here in just a moment, because we have two gifts now. We have a vacation stay giveaway. If you're watching live, what I'm going to do is I love to close every show out with a good question, Dana. And I hope you haven't, I call it cheated, and watched a previous show to the end, because then you'd see what question was and you'd be prepared. I like it when people aren't prepared for this one. And if you are, it's okay. It's no big deal. But it's an amazing question because of the answers I've gotten over the years now of doing the show. They're very unique. And it's a very profound question, and I just love it. You were skirting along the surface of it very early on in the show as a hint, and I know you're going to go, I have no idea what that was. But I love asking that, and it's very profound. But before we do that, let's give away some great stuff, huh? So
yeah, let's do it.
I promised those who are watching live that stayed on with us till the end that you can enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, compliments of thebiginsidersecrets.com. So let's switch over to that screen. And all you need to do is enter this web address into a browser of your choice. It could be on your phone. It could be on a tablet. It could be on your desktop or laptop. It doesn't matter. Just go to your web browser and type in ryp.im/vacation. Yes, that is a website address. ryp.im/vacation. Type in your information. You will automatically be entered to win in our random drawing a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Once again, brought to you by thebiginsidersecrets.com. Jason Ness, my buddy, my pal, who does this. And then we have Dana, who has something phenomenal. And I wanted you to also share, if you would, the strategy behind what you're doing with this. It's really awesome because it's so it's just incredible what you're doing. And it's in such great alignment with my value system and what I believe there needs to be more of in the business world. So I'm going to pull that up and let you talk about this amazing gift. I'll put the URL up on the screen, put it in the chat, all that good stuff, while you give a little explanation of what this wonderful thing is all about.
Look at that. There it is. So CEO Days is a wonderful gift that you can give your business. I talked a little bit about earlier, like going through your journey and taking an assessment of where you are and what you need to prioritize and what you need to focus on in order to move forward, both in what feels good and what's actually going to result in the work on the business that sometimes we don't do. So think about all the client work that you put in front of your own. Think about all the times that you answer emails and texts and calls with the important people that you're networking with, and you forget to actually figure out, well, who's important to nurture and who's really going to be those game changer connections I need. It's taking that giant step back and getting a really great assessment on what you need to do to work on your business. And we do it, of course, in what my favorite container and space is. The best way to do it is through community. So we come together each and every month for just 2 hours. It's going to be the most impactful 2 hours you're going to spend. You don't even need a full day to work on your business. Just 2 hours is all I'm asking for each month. And what we do is we clear the space with a brain dump. We work through a beautiful workbook that's going to help guide you. And my favorite part is as you're working through it and you show up each and every month, it becomes almost like your business journal that you can refer back to months in advance and say, wow, look at January of 2020, what I was doing, what my cute little goals were, and how, where I was. And then you can compare it to where you are now to really celebrate your achievements and what you're now working on. And then we have this really amazing 40-minute work sprint that you get something done that you've been putting off for months, that is all about building into your business. And at the end of the day, you have kind of where it's all about is you're up leveling your space, you're working in a sweet place, you're meeting people face to face, and you're setting goals you love to chase. I like how all those came up as I was going to say that. So it's kind of a 4-part, just quadruple whammy of an experience that you can do over 2 hours. And I invite you to it. It's free. It's all you have to do is just sign up.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? It's free. And look at that. What a phenomenal thing that, so many of you no doubt have heard about the value of giving value. And she is literally giving that. She's giving 2 hours of her time once a month for free for you to help you. Not many people do this. There are some that do, but percentage wise, there are very few that do this on a regular basis. How long have you been doing this, Dana?
So January 2020 was our first event, and we've been going strong ever since. And I love CEO Days, and so does the community.
Fantastic. So over a year and a half of doing this. So that's like a lot of months, 20 months or so, I'm guessing, right around there. That's 20 of these events. And look, she talked about a workbook. So I'm guessing there's a electronic download they can either print out or type directly into. It's genius. So think about how you could do this with your business. First, before you do that, sign up for her CEO Days. Like she said, it's free. And look at that. You can see, just look at that. If you can see this on the screen, the screenshot she got of everyone in that particular event, what are they all doing? They're all smiling. I think they're having fun. And so that's phenomenal. And so for those of you listening on podcast, I just want to give you the URL to go to. And so it's a abbreviation of the word marketing and then followed by the word brand. And I'll go through it right now. It's MKTG. That's the marketing part. So MKTG brand.com/CEO Days. I believe they could also go to danamagnus.com/CEO Days. One and the same.
Which is the same.
Okay. Yeah, Dana Magnus, as we did before, DANAMAGNUS.com/CEO Days. No dashes, no hyphens, no nothing. Just go straight to it. All lowercase for CEO Days. Very important. And definitely sign up. I think I already registered right before we got on here to go live. So I'm always a student of success of other people and how they market. And look, let me tell you something, everyone. This is someone, this being Dana, who specializes in marketing. And let me tell you something else. Marketing is the lifeblood of any company. Without it, I can't believe when COVID hit, you'd see the first department being cut was marketing. Like, you're cutting off your own blood supply. Why are you doing that? But the other thing is, it's not just to have people to do marketing for you, but those that know how to do it and know how to do it successfully, because that's the hard part, is knowing. That's one of the questions I asked on the show was, well, what's working now?
Yeah.
And it was show up over and over and over. And how do you show up? Where do you show up? All the things related to it. And she's right. I mean, that's what I'm experiencing too by having this show, showing up every week. Other things where I'm showing up every 2 weeks, I do a master class. So you're doing your CEO days once a month. See, there's a pattern here, another pattern. And we're just, Dana's revealing to you what works. It works for her. Are there other ways that you can successfully market? Absolutely. There's a bunch. But why go looking into all of these other different ways when sitting right in front of you is someone who has successfully mastered one of them? That's what I meant by having a recipe. How many recipes are there for a phenomenal cake? Probably thousands.
Right.
How many do you need to create that one great cake? Just one. So when you find one recipe, whether it's not done in the exact order you would like, or it doesn't have all the exact ingredients you would like, but you know it's going to taste phenomenal when you're done, does it matter? What matters are the results. And I'm pointing at Dana as I say that for you listening on podcast land. And so take her up on this. Join her on CEO days. Have fun with her. 2 hours. It's actually, you get, you do things. You do actually work on your business. And she explained part of that just a moment ago. It's not just go in, listen to Dana, blah, 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 and then thank you, good night. It's you will listen to her because she's going to guide you and lead you because she's a great leader, and she's going to show you the things that are going to help you in your business. So thank you for doing this. I mean, truly, thank you for everyone that goes through this, for myself, who will be going through it. I got to check the date and times on those, but we'll see how that works. I'll do what I can because that looks like a lot. It looks like fun. It looks like
a blast.
It looks like a good use of time because it's very focused. I love that. Let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. There it is. So that question, we have reached the time. Wow, we've gone well past it. Brian's been blabbing, and it's time for that wonderful, wonderful question that I was leading up to. And here's the thing, Dana. There's no such thing as a wrong answer because it's kind of a personal question. And the reason it's personal is because the only correct answer is yours. It's unique to you. That's what makes it personal. It's not like getting into your personal business. It's just unique to you and your reaction. And like I said, you were kind of skirting on it earlier in the show. And I was like, all right, she's gonna rock this one. Everyone does. Everyone does. If you get the answer right away, fantastic. If it takes you a moment and you need to think, fantastic. It doesn't matter. It's your answer. No matter what it is or how it comes to you, it's the right answer because it's yours. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's no pressure, but now your curiosity.
Now I feel a little. Yeah. Now I feel it getting a little sweaty in my palms.
Oh, that's funny. I love it. I love it. Okay. Are you ready? All right. Dana Magnus, how do you define success?
So how I define success is all about the way that you feel after you look at where you've come and you can say, I helped somebody, I helped myself, and I did something amazing that I'm proud of. And success also means that if you were to take what you've done for yourself and you knew that it impacted more than just you, right? You changed a life somewhere along the way and it was more than just for you. I think that success is a multiple impact through just you and everyone else that you served. So that's how I would define success.
Oh yeah, you know what they say, boys and their toys, right? That was fun. A lot of fun. Dana, thank you so much for incredible show and for sharing your value, your wisdom, your experience. Because it was everything you said and talked about tonight are things people can utilize and put into action immediately and see a change in their business for the better and in their lives. And so I appreciate you for being willing to spend your time, your very, very valuable time, to do that and share with our audience and with me personally, because I love what I get to do. I get the most out of this of anybody. So it's a little selfish, but it's just the truth. I love it. But appreciate you. And that's our show for tonight. We went a little bit over, but it's okay. It's my show. I can do what I want. And Dana just kept rolling with it. So I was happy.
You can do anything that you want. And I love that you get so much out of it, because I got so much out of it. Successful show. Thank you, Brian.
You're very welcome. On behalf of the amazing Dana Magnus, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. We will be back again in a week's time with another fantastic episode. Until then, have a great, great evening. So long, and be blessed, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.